Welcome to today's video, you guys, where we are going to talk about the most talked about topic these days, manifestation. I don't know why, but it feels like literally everyone is talking about it, like it's all over the internet. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, I felt like I had to do this one because the amount of tips and techniques we are receiving online is crazy. Now, I genuinely appreciate all these resources that are available to us because a lot more people have access to them. But with any subject, when you try to compress it into a 90-second thing, I feel like a lot can get lost in the way because so many people talk about these techniques for manifestation, but very few actually address the concerns and problems that arise in this process. Because I've been actively manifesting for years and I literally could not get one thing I wanted. And this made me so mad that I just gave up. I was like, maybe it's just me, I can't do it. Maybe I'm not one of those people who can literally manifest anything they want into their lives. Until recently, when I started seeing results of my manifestations, a few ones that have been in the making for literally years now. And that's when I realized I was wrong in going about the process of manifestation, because I was only exposed to the shiny bits of this process, when in reality, manifestation is so much more than just thinking about a goal, visualizing it, scripting, and vision boards. Yes, these are important parts of manifestation, but there's so much more to it. So after years of not knowing how to manifest properly, with my own experience and listening to some experts, I've come to a place where I understand how manifestation works and how to make it work for you. So today I want to share some things that you should remember and consider while you are on your own manifestation journey. The biggest mistake I kept making over and over again was trying to manifest the wrong things, wrong people, wrong experiences, wrong outcomes. And this was because I was manifesting from a place of ego. So the things that I wanted in life, they were either to escape out of my current situation or out of fear that life wouldn't go the way I wanted to, so I must control it. An example of this is when I desperately tried to go to a new town, a specific city for my college, because someone I met online and I really liked was living there. So I risked my entire studies and career to go be with this person for a year. Obviously, the manifestation did not happen because it wasn't right for me. I did not want it because he was my soulmate and he was going to make those compromises too. I wanted it because I was only 17 and I believed that being with this boy and away from my family was going to fix me. And I was so pissed when it did not happen, but if it did, I would have gone down a road that would have very well wrecked my whole life. This is such a common occurrence, manifesting from a place of ego, because we attract based on our past experiences, what we have known to be true until that point. And that is why it's so important to connect to your intuition when you're manifesting, because otherwise our limiting beliefs will drive our manifestation. In my example, I firmly believed that I needed a boyfriend to feel whole and happy. I couldn't even imagine having a fulfilled life all on my own, or that life could be reasonably good even if I was living with my family. So I kept wanting to manifest my firm beliefs, not realizing that there wasn't much truth to them. When we disconnect from our ego though, we can redefine what is possible for us. We can start believing in things that wouldn't have made sense to us before but are in full alignment with our lives. We can get really clear on what we want, which is a crucial step in manifesting, because when we are not manifesting through emotions of guilt, fear, expectations of others, like how will your friends perceive you, what do you need to do to appease your parents, you will attract what is meant for you and you'll get anything you want because you're basically choosing the right things for you. So the biggest effort in manifestation is not in the mainstream techniques, but in detaching from your ego, listening to your gut, working on quietening your fears, people-pleasing, and limiting beliefs. This is where most of us struggle, and because of this, we either don't get what we want or we end up attracting what we don't want. So listen to your inner wisdom. It will always tell you what you need in life. You know, when you hear people say you have to match with the vibration of your manifestation, so visualize living it, feel the exact feelings, etc. Yeah, It's not actually as simple and wishful as that. I've had to learn it the hard way that visualization is not enough. You have to do the dirty work to align with it and be ready for it. Let's say my manifestation is getting 1 million subscribers. I am visualizing it. I imagine how proud and happy I'd be, all of that good stuff. But if I had 1 million subs today, I'd shit my pants and never do YouTube again, because I wouldn't know what to do with that kind of success and recognition. It would feel so overwhelming because I'm still me with the same skills I have today, which are not enough for that level of accomplishment. We see people having a viral moment and disappearing. I've heard so many stories where people have shared that they have received their manifestations, but it did not change the way they felt about themselves and their lives because they weren't ready for it. They were not ready to understand it and enjoy it. And this is why the process of alignment is so important. Now, in my case, doing the dirty work would be posting every week, working on my communication and technical skills, showing up even when I don't have video ideas or they are bad. This is hard work. But these efforts are making me ready for my 1 million. They are aligning me with that goal. You have to rise up to your dreams vibration in all thought, emotion, and actions, especially actions. Visualization helps in allowing you to take inspired action because it creates more empowering pathways in your mind and your body, but it cannot be complete without action. I heard this really interesting take on visualization in Mel Robbins' podcast episode where she talks about visualizing the small steps, the hard steps, and she gives the example of running a marathon. So she says instead of visualizing just the end goal, visualize getting out of bed early in the morning. Feel the resistance, but imagine pushing yourself to go for a run anyway. We give up or do not even start because these small steps are hard. Manifestation gives us a glimpse into the perfect, curated, final version, but we don't magically transport to this final destination one day. Sometimes we use manifestation as a means to avoid doing the work because there are so many steps along the way, and that is why it's so much easier to get into visual thinking about the final goal. It's easy to fantasize about a potential rather than use it because in reality, there will be so many hurdles and hard work that we probably don't want to experience. That's why I use a visualization technique to imagine doing the mundane, unavoidable stuff. If I'm feeling highly unmotivated and if I'm procrastinating, I don't visualize having 1 million subscribers. I imagine waking up early the next day, finishing that draft. I imagine how once I get to work, the video falls into place because this is what motivates me to show up even when I don't want to, even when I don't see the results. So rise up to your manifestations vibration, not just in thoughts and emotions, but also in actions. Do what it takes, there's no other way. Manifestation can also create this obsession with this dream life, this dream future, so much so that we completely forget to live in the present. We want to rush to be in that future that we don't honor our current self, our current life. In fact, this video came about when I caught myself daydreaming so much about this thing that I'm manifesting that I wasn't working one bit. I was constantly praying, checking for signs. I was just so obsessed. And then it hit me that I have to let go and trust that it'll come to me when it's meant to. But it was so hard because this future looked so damn good, and this was problematic because I was falling off routines and schedules. I was pushing off things because I just want to think about it some more. It was almost this fear that if I'm not thinking about it enough, the universe will forget about it or that I'll miss something important. What is interesting is that I can most definitely miss something if I'm not living in the present moment, because that future I'm dreaming about is created through the present. It's also important to understand that once we decide we want something, it's not going to happen in a specific happy manner. Sometimes to attract what we want, we face rejections, redirections, people leaving our lives, failing a class. The process of manifestation is not always pretty. At 18 or 19, I wanted to change my life. I wanted to become self-sufficient and not get involved in the business of boys and love. And that is precisely when the relationship that would change my life manifested into my reality. Without it, I wouldn't have hit rock bottom. I wouldn't have learned from my mistakes that I've been making since 13. So the universe did give me self-love and self-sufficiency, but through the worst heartbreak yet. Also, at times, it can feel like nothing is happening. You feel like you're manifesting day in and day out, but you just don't see any results in your reality. But this too is a part of the process. And this is why trust is so important. I want to give another example from my own life. After graduation a year ago, I was so lost and confused in the area of my career. I did not know what I wanted to do. I was seeking all this advice from others, and I had so much of pressure on myself because everybody kept asking,
"What are you planning to do next? You should do this, you should do that." And all my friends were either doing masters or they were getting a job, and I was just in my house, anxious and lost.
I literally used all the manifestation techniques out there, but there was just so much of resistance. But this waiting period was for my highest good. Because nothing was happening externally, I was forced to go within to find the clarity and direction. It took a while, but I was able to recognize what was truly meaningful for me. And once I figured out my values for my professional life, which were working for myself, having a flexible schedule, doing creative and purposeful work, all the resistance was suddenly gone. Because I was looking in all the wrong places before, I believed that I had to work for somebody else first and then I would be self-employed. Because that was the kind of stories I was hearing where people worked really hard and then they quit their jobs and pursued their passion. So I was like, well, I need to have a job first in order to pursue that passion. But this thinking wasn't in alignment with my values, especially because I had that advantage and privilege of pursuing my passion. So I did manifest an opportunity and clarity in my career, but it came with the full package of long waiting periods in the dark. But this manifestation saga makes the normal, aka learning, recharging, being lost, as abnormal and bad. Makes one feel like you should always be living a perfect, carefully constructed life. And I hated it. It made me feel like I wasn't living life correctly, which is not the truth. Living our dream life is so important, but sometimes the manifestation race steals away the simple, normal, necessary moments. Learnings like life will not always go our way, and that's okay because we will always be guided or redirected to our path. And manifestation stories are inspiring, yes, but consuming them too much, especially in short form, can make you feel like it's wrong to be content in your present state. That you should constantly be striving for this dream future and getting that dopamine from the idea of it, and just creates so much of FOMO, honestly, sometimes. So it's important to understand that manifestation is not just about achieving goals. It's also about integrating everything we've learned and living it out. And I also want to say that it's completely okay to passively manifest. This is what I do most times in my life. Active manifestation is so cool, but I'm a big believer in manifesting feelings and experiences over very specific details. I like to leave it open to the universe because I know I cannot imagine all the possibilities out there. Sometimes you'll get those intuitive hits when you know exactly what's right, then follow its lead, take action. But it's okay if you're someone who doesn't want to do all these rituals and stuff. There's nothing wrong with them. They're extremely effective. But if that's not your thing, it does not mean that you cannot live your dream life. Being clear is essential for manifestation, but being clear on what kind of experiences you want to have or how do you want those experiences to make you feel is enough. For example, you can be very clear about the values you want your dream partner to have without knowing specifically who this person is. You'll still manifest your soulmate. At the end of the day, manifestation should empower you. It should not make you feel bad or put you in a wishful thinking state. And by no means am I saying that manifestation is bad. I freaking love it so much. But sometimes I feel like we miss the essence of it. Manifestation cannot happen unless you connect to yourself, connect to the source. You have to truly believe in what you want, even if you cannot see how it's going to happen, even if it's never happened before. You have to be clear and firm in your dreams and your desires. You have to trust that everything you experience is getting you closer to that dream. And most importantly, you have to take action. So these are the things I personally feel like aren't talked about enough, some things that I struggled with a lot for years. So I really hope you find this helpful. Thank you for being here, and I will see you again in my next one. Happy manifesting!